Let's get into it. TommyNFG biggest crash outs.
Anger, an emotion we all in the human race.
Let's get into it.
Anger, an emotion we all in the human race experience, taken from our most primitive ancestors. But what happens when this anger reaches our body's boiling point, reaching a state that we have to just bust all our anger open at anyone and deal with the consequences later? Enter crash out. Defined as to get really mad or upset and lose all your self-control. But you probably already know what it is.
True.
Because, well, TikTok likes to take a word and abuse it until nothing's left of it. Someone who should probably be on the Mount Rushmore of public crash outs, Orange Juice Simpson. I think that's how his name goes. Why else would his parents name him OJ? It's crazy how no one remembers him for his legacy as an all-time football star, which goes to show you shouldn't murder people. It's not nice. I'm not gonna lie, the OJ Simpson trial must have been a hype-ass time to be alive, because this man was truly crashing out and all of the public was talking about it. The announcement of the verdict at 100 million.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Fuck you talking about?
The last time more than 60% of Americans got together was to defeat the British. He originally got convicted for the crime, and instead of turning himself in like the average civilian would,
he wrote a
goes
book
on the
about
iconic 60-mile police chase, thinking he can make it to
he did write a book about it.
True anger in my eyes, because he was not thinking. Even if the cops never saw him on the road, then what was he gonna do when he was in public? Would have to live in a shed his whole life or something. The whole world damn near knew this man's face. I don't think throwing on some fake glasses and a nose would work out. Then when the trial ended and he won the case, this man goes and makes a book called If I Did It, which
there you go.
hypothetically reveals how he would have done the murders if he actually did it.
He
like,
is
no
a
this
nigga's a fucking troll.
At a certain point, we should say what the court declared. The public has declared him guilty. This is the modern equivalent of saying a crime in detail, then putting in GTA right after. The details in the book are so specific, it's like he almost actually did it. Imagine? And he just kept up. His mind state was never sane after this. This man even went on the news to describe the scenes in detail in the book, and honestly, it's the hardest thing to ever watch.
This guy kind of got into a karate thing, and I said, well, you think you can kick my ass? And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking the knife from Charlie, and to be honest, after that, I don't remember, except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around, and
what kind of stuff?
I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical.
Well, now I believe him. You would think after pulling off the heist of the century, he would call it quits and retire until old age. Yeah, no, he got convicted of robbing and kidnapping in 2008 and sentenced to 33 years in jail. But he's free now and actually has Twitter. So if you're seeing this, Mr. OJ, this whole portion of the video,
niggas are following too.
You know how things are. Rent is due, family's gone homeless, need to pay the bills somehow. So I've just been lying this whole time. I mean, we all saw the case. You weren't guilty. Don't worry, I'll switch up the topic for you, Mr. OJ. Like that man Ezra Miller was really guilty of. Ezra Miller had a
that nigga been throwing
bro. 2022.
I heard this nigga was throwing chairs at
women.
women.
Out of nowhere, this man started lashing out on all of society. If you came near him, there was a 99% chance you was not making it out alive. And it was all in perfect timing for what was supposed to be the savior of the DC franchise, The Flash. And saving the franchise, it did not do. This all started unironically when he sent a threatening message to the KKK in 2022. I know they were shivering in their boots once they got the message that the Flash was coming for them. Low-key, he was standing on business. I rock with the message. But then he assaulted a woman and got charged with second-degree assault, so there goes that. And all of this was because he was asked to leave a bar. Like brother, you could have went right down the street. After that, he got accused of grooming a girl he met in 2016 when she was 12. Bro, this man is a famous Hollywood.
I'm probably gonna dip. Alright, bro.
He doesn't even have to try to pull and still does this. That's how you know he's a true villain at heart. Then he got a restraining order filed on him. Then he pled guilty to a misdemeanor and got 1 year probation.
Shit, most likely gonna be back.
Look, I'm not doing any more than he's alright. You
get calling me Jackie, bitch.
But if you put Ezra Miller and FouseyTube on Crash Out to Crash Out, I'm going with FouseyTube every time. FouseyTube comes back every.
He hit a woman with a fucking chair. You can't beat that.
Social media streets. I don't think we've seen
a get out of here already.
version of him since he was doing pranks on YouTube. No sane man can transform their body as much as FouseyTube does without having some sort of ferocity. And probably steroids.
Yeah, I was gonna say he off them steroids.
I've seen him fatten up to look like Fat Albert, then transform to a Greek god at least 20 times. His first public crash out was the whole festival event in 2018 where he was promising shit like Drake was gonna be there. And instead of Drake, the crowd got a swatting, so I'd say they were satisfied. Then he went on this iconic 10-minute
I remember this
car where, you know what, he was actually spinning some real shit.
Talking about the little things. You're heating up your breakfast when I'm heating up my dinner.
See, like, you just gotta understand.
Get to my Lou Jack. What are you talking about?
What he's talking about, like, you gotta be in the know to know. And of course, we can't forget about the kick run he had, which was a build up to the eventual crash out. I've never seen
this nigga started speeding to fucking Eminem.
Insane like I did with Fousey. Clip after clip every day.
Like, what is this?
Doing something more bonkers than the day before it was coming out. I've seen this man dig into his ass crack on his streams. I can't say that for a lot of other streamers. Maybe he's just innovating. Tune into my next stream for a surprise. But you would think with all this crash out energy that if he got into a fight, it would be over for the other dude instantly. Yet in an actual boxing match, he loses to Deji out of all people. I don't know how the crazy isn't translating to the muscles, but he's got to fix that ASAP. And it's been a while since
this nigga got fucking retired from back boxing. He got his ass beat so bad.
So give it a couple of months and it'll be guaranteed he's back. Someone who's guaranteed to not come back ever though is R. Kelly. Well, at least for 31 years, which is when his sentence ends. Hold up, how the f did R. Kelly only get 31 years? Did no one question this? This is literally the face of Hollywood pedos. Seeing R. Kelly's eventual crash out
30 years
was so funny.
Nigga, how old is R. Kelly? Like 60?
Knew he was guilty. The whole public at that point already knew about the PP video. Knew he got married to Aaliyah, who was 15, by lying on marriage documents. Were people supposed to forget after seeing it and go, oh my god, the emotions in his voice, the emotions in his movement.
But you already know niggas don't really care, bro.
Free R. Kelly. The Boondocks even made an episode in 2005 making fun of the fact that everyone just forgave him because he could sing good. And obviously R. Kelly could sing, but there's so many iconic singers for people to be defending him like this. He's not touching MJ, Freddie Mercury, Frank Sinatra, name an iconic singer now.
But you gotta understand, it's not the point. It's not a point that he touching the greatness of the niggas. This nigga just has so many damn classics that niggas love. That's just what it is.
Them over him. A person who always manages to pick.
Plus, he be he got hella songs that he's written.
Though is Ryan Garcia. Who is next? Honestly, I had no idea how to transition, but we're gonna roll with. Ryan Garcia is one of the most recent, well-known boxers, and he's been going viral this year for, you guessed it, crashing out. No one knows exactly where this came from. Maybe he still feels the L from his fight with Gervonta Davis. He might be off the finest supply of coke from Peru. Might be drowning a.
Did he ever fight? What's the name?
Or maybe he's telling the truth. He's been coming.
Haney? Was that supposed? When is that fight supposed to happen? Because I wanted Haney to beat this nigga up just on some shit. Because
now with different.
Haney kind of cold, so I just want to see. And then it never. Did it happen or did it get canceled? I don't remember.
Rants online saying the elites are out to get him, saying he's got full video evidence proof of everything these weirdos got going on. And don't get me wrong, I truly believe about the Hollywood elites and freaks just as much as the other guy. I've been a conspiracy theorist ever since Blue's Clues. But there's only one big problem. He hasn't shown a single piece of evidence to back up what he's talking about. If you got the proof that could take down all these elites with a single post, then you telling me you can't post a single shred of evidence? I mean, all you have to do is just open a social media app and the post button is right there. From camera roll to world. It ain't that hard. He keeps hopping on live stream to live stream, ranting still, and it's kind of sad to see. I want to move on to some fictional characters, starting off with Gon. Spoiler warnings, by the way. Gon was a jolly kid throughout almost all of
Gon being a crash out is not true.
Him and Killua went through the trenches and he was still always managing to smile.
This shit was justified, bro.
Take his butt. He never stacked. But when he transformed to Big Black to beat P2, I knew the story was over, honestly. This literally made the air in the room start swirling over him. How do you go from a 4'11" midget jolly kid to this thing? He sacrificed his abilities to even use his powers again just to beat his ass. I've never seen a crash out from a fictional character so badly that they stop being the main character of their own show. Like, he doesn't even show up in the story anymore after this. Bro gave up his salary just for revenge. And honestly, that did deserve it, so I can't be mad. If Hunter x Hunter ever comes back, then we can guarantee, like his dad, that Gon won't be there. Someone else's kid who's guaranteed to not be there is Miguel O'Hara. Honestly, Miguel had one of the most valid crash outs out of everybody on this list, because Miles quite literally f***ed up the whole universe and his whole life too. He went from happy wife, happy life to clinically insane psycho who manages an entire universe. universe. Like, there isn't an ounce of soul in this man anymore. And by the way he was slamming and
I'm
throwing
trying to
Mao's...
think, is this nigga a crash out? You know what I mean? Yeah.
In their fight, he definitely went racist after.
He's like rational.
Even call Mao's a mistake. That's when you know someone is pissed. I mean, he definitely could have found a better solution instead of sending a whole universe to attack a 15-year-old and take him down. At the point he was at, he was just seeing pure rage. But you know what? Everybody else on this video before this. The #1 crash out of all time, someone whose crash out hopefully is never passed, is Hitler. Like, on the real, you got rejected from an art school and did what, man? At least take the pain on the
Now
school.
this I can agree
Follow me
with.
on Twitter,
He
Instagram,
not wrong
and
about
TikTok.
that.
As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Yeah, no, that nigga is definitely the top tier. He first place.